Hey,
Hi.
how are you? Good morning.
Good.
Good morning, everyone. If you can just take a second and approve StreamYard so that we can see everybody's names when they comment on the live, that would be awesome because we want to see who you are. And the link should be right in. There it is right up there. Just click the streamyard.com/Facebook and just give it approval so that we can see who you are. And that will be amazing. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Again, I am Jess Cassidy, and this is Athena Caparola, and I want to introduce her. She is my co-host over on the Real Agents of Cherry Point. And we have recently decided to combine the MREA podcast of the Get Real podcast together to bring you guys even more value in the MREA. So, welcome, Athena.
Hey, I'm really just along for the ride.
Yes, and she is also, a multi-million-dollar top producing agent in our area. And she is also a part of the Modern Real Estate Agent Elite team that we have. So she brings lots of value to help everyone here and be a part of the team.
Yay. Thanks for having me.
All right. I see some people saying good morning, but we haven't been able to yet see their names because they haven't given it approval yet to StreamYard. So if you guys can just click that button, we'll be able to see who you are. So today we're going to talk about simplifying your life and business and what that looks like.
Yeah, so I think that's how we kind of decided to transition into this plan of the podcast instead of our real estate agents, right?
Yes, or in addition to, because
yeah,
who needs more stuff to...
Right. Because we are at the beginning of the year seems to be the time that everybody just goes off the chain with all of these new ideas. Everywhere you look, there's a new idea, a new system, something shiny and gold and pretty. And it's just overwhelming.
Yeah, 100%. It's so easy to just sit down and come up with a bunch of ideas, but implementation always lacks for all of us, especially
100%.
if you're busy.
100%. And then you kind of get this like, we didn't put that phone on Do Not Disturb.
Welcome to real world.
You kind of get this feeling of almost a failure because you have all these good ideas, but you just don't know how to make them happen.
Absolutely. All the time.
Or what works, what doesn't work.
And I think that you get really overwhelmed in, your home life and your work life because you're taking on all of these creative tasks in your real estate business, as well as the tasks that you have to do every day just to maintain your business.
Right.
And
which I refer to a lot as being in the weeds.
Yes.
Like when you're out showing properties, like literally you might be walking in weeds, but even if you're just doing a condo showing, you're in the weeds, you're with your clients. I think people in the restaurant business use that term too, like the servers and stuff use that term.
Yeah. And for us, because we don't get paid, a salary or per hour or anything, we do a lot of work that we don't get paid for a long time. So being stuck in those weeds, like you say, can really suck a lot.
Yeah. So a lot of people are picking a word of the year, which I think that's new.
Yeah, I think so.
But I like it. I don't think that our word of the year is new, but that definitely kind of gave us this idea for this specific podcast was picking the word simplicity or simplify.
Simplify, yeah. So I'm not doing a word of the year. I'm doing a sentence, and it's, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry in 2022.
I'm proud of you for that.
I'm not sorry for helping people. I'm not sorry for being myself, and I'm not sorry for being honest or real. That's what you will get, especially here in the group. Honest truth.
I love it, and I'm proud of you.
Thanks. Are you using, is simplify your word for the year?
I don't really have a year because I change so much. Because
Good morning, Crystal. There we go. That's what it looks like when everybody
yay!
gives approval. All right, we love that.
I've never used StreamYard, so this is kind of interesting to learn with everybody else.
So you're using Simplify in your life and business?
This week, yeah.
Oh, just
It's
this
going to
week.
change.
not for the
It's going
year.
to change because we're constantly growing. But the beginning of the year is really important to simplify because, like we said a few minutes ago, you are overwhelmed with every new idea. Every Facebook group that you're in is going to have agents or just people in general who have all these new ideas, whether it is organizing your house or organizing your database or starting a podcast or help me out. There's so many.
Yeah. And I mean, just changing the changes that come at the beginning of every year anyways.
Right.
Everybody is trying to implement their changes. They want to lose weight. They want to work out more. They want to be healthy. They're setting the goals for the year for their business. They're, wanting to spend more time with their family. And I think they get bogged down so easily with all this stuff. And a lot of times, all that pressure makes a lot of people just not do anything because they just completely shut down.
So I have one good suggestion to start with.
I would love that. And I think everybody else would.
Unfollow anything or anyone that does not bring you joy.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
100%.
It's okay. There's no reason as a real estate agent to be friends with 400 other real estate agents in your market. They're going to see the property that you have coming soon in the MLS. They're going to see your open house in the MLS.
Yeah.
So that's not to say that you can't be friends with those people. You should be friends with those people. They're funny. They're your coworkers. They're people that you see around town. You should be friends with them, but don't allow yourself to get brought down by other agents.
And you don't have to be friends with all of them. And also, I think that, a lot of times, and, I'll refer back to one of the previous podcast episodes of imposter syndrome. I think that, if you find yourself feeling bad about yourself or your production or marketing or anything else because you're comparing yourself to others, it's okay to unfollow them. If you still want to be their friends and stuff, it's okay to unfollow people for a short time. And it's okay to feel the way that you feel. And there's nothing wrong with that. Jealousy and imposter syndrome are real. And I think that the fact that we don't talk about that more often is really hard, especially in this industry. It happens.
Right.
More often than not, probably.
Yes.
And
I unfollowed probably 20 groups over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that by unfollowing those groups, they were groups that I just wasn't getting value from. Not every real estate group that you join is going to provide value.
Absolutely.
They can provide a lot of entertainment.
Well, some of those groups and people in general, if you're not interested in what they're saying or you don't want to be a part of it, it's just clogging up your news feed for the people you do want to focus on.
So when I pulled out of those groups, I'm starting to notice, I'm getting more of, I'm a big mid-century modern decorator at home. So I'm seeing those posts again. I'm seeing more posts from the rescue group where I got my dog from. And it's just opening up all of these opportunities that are nice and local.
Yeah.
So that I can be seen and heard and communicate and create relationships in groups where my actual clients are.
Right.
My clients are not other real estate agents.
No, they're not going to give you houses. I mean, if they're in other areas and stuff, they can give you referrals and stuff, but they're not where you should be networking and lead generating from. You're not going to get business from them.
Yeah. So it was very freeing to do that. I also went through my friends list.
I love it.
And I did the same thing. And I just really looked at everybody individually and I said, is this person bringing me value? Or am I bringing that person value?
And then you said, bye.
I said, unfriend. Well, some people I just unfollowed because I'm a human being.
Right. So, talking about, being overwhelmed with all of these tasks and how to simplify your life, some of the great ways to be able to do that is creating systems in your business and your life. And a couple of ways of doing that is planning. Whether you do digital planners or paper planners, or just use your Google Calendar, um, or just notepads and sticky notes, whatever you do, I think planning it out and having to-do lists is key to taking some of that overwhelm out of your life and the stress that comes with that. Just creating your daily to-do list, I think, is amazing. And I think you do the daily to-do lists every day as well.
Yeah, I think that you should never underestimate the power of a handwritten list.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be, I say handwritten, but maybe it's on your notes. Like the new update, it's probably
do
not
handwritten on my digital.
What?
I do handwritten on my digital.
Yeah, you do use your pencil.
Yeah.
But even like with the new notes thing, you can literally cross stuff off as you go on your iPhone. I have a handwritten list, like literally, like I can show you my written list right now. And also, I love my new journal that I have because it's like the little grids and it makes it so easy to keep it organized. But like, I have a to-do list every day. And a lot of times I just move stuff from one day to the other. And that's okay because I don't forget that I have to do it.
Well, you know what they say is you don't cross things off or remove them from your list. If you don't do it, you move it along.
Right. Yeah.
So what I do is typically on Sundays, I go through and plan out my week, whatever trainings I have, whatever appointments I have, bills that I have to pay. If I take my littlest one to cheerleading, that goes on my calendar. And I use a digital planner in GoodNotes. And I do that every Sunday. I fill out everything that is already planned in there. And then when other stuff comes up, I can look and say, okay, well, it can fit in between here and here or over here and here. And that's it. And it makes it so much easier.
Right. I need to get on board. I think what I need to do, our kids just went back to school for the very first time from winter break today. I think they were home for 7 years, 4 years, 6, 7 years. I'm not sure.
At least.
But I need to implement I need to sit down for 15 minutes the night before with a face mask and my planner. And I need to plan my morning. Jess will tell you all, I come into the office like on 2 wheels almost every day, like at the very last minute. It's just how I am. And I think a lot of agents are like that.
It's got to be some sort of trait that they have to fill out for real estate course, I guess.
Right. But I'm never without Starbucks.
Yeah. I'll be late, but I'll have Starbucks.
But I think that if I could put 15 minutes a night aside for myself, and instead of playing Fishdom or looking at Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, if I could just put those 15 minutes to myself, I probably would feel better.
Yeah.
And I think that's my goal this week.
Scheduling time for me time.
Just that planning time for the next day so that when I wake up, I know what to do the second I walk through the door of the office.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting and spending 20 minutes trying to make my to-do list.
I love it.
That also brings me to another point of keeping things simple. And this is something I've learned recently. I would say probably over the last 4 months or so. And that is, you have to have a safe spot.
Hey, Jamie.
You just have to have a safe place. And it doesn't have to be in your office. If you work from home, you can create a spot just somewhere that you can go that other people aren't. Somewhere that you can be creative in that place.
Yeah.
You can have these ideas. And in my opinion, it helps if you have someone else to bounce them off of. That's why I come to the office every day, almost every day, because I can run my ideas through other people, even if we're not. A lot of times, I think we have conversations, like you have your own conversation and I have my own conversation, and they're not the same conversation.
Yep.
But that's how we work almost all day long.
And that's how, this Facebook group got started 4 years ago was, having a place where you can create your squad, your tribe, finding people that are like-minded to support you in coming up with creative ideas or just to bounce ideas off of, because sometimes when you just say things out loud and then somebody else starts talking about it as well, and you're getting more ideas and you're keeping that conversation going, it helps so much of, working or implementation of your business and stuff. And you need that in real estate.
But I think we have noticed this like 100%. So we will start, and this brings us back to the whole root word of simplicity and simplify. We have probably 7 different idea lists within the office. We have a whiteboard, we have a notebook, we have our own to-do lists, we have like random pieces of paper. I think those are on the front table right now. That's why we're doing this, because we all have such good ideas. I know that you all have such good ideas. You've probably thought of 3 good ideas just listening to this podcast.
We hope so.
We're not a podcast. We're a lot. What are we?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
But anyway, you are constantly thinking of new ideas. That's why you're in this business, because it's all about growth. And you have to simplify and find what works, right? So find your key piece that works for you, but keep the brainstorming going and keep your to-do list, keep your idea list, get a whiteboard or a chalkboard or whatever you want that you can erase real quick. And we've even created a system for our ideas at this point. Like, first they land on the piece of paper that sits on the table. And then from there, if they stick, they get put onto the whiteboard. And then from the whiteboard, they get put into that black and white notebook that Jess just showed. And that black and white notebook is our implementation notebook. That's the stuff that once it gets written down, it gets done. It becomes our to-do list.
Or we schedule it out in our Trello systems or in our planners that it has to be done on this specific day. Like, for example, we're going to be talking about newsletters Friday in a training about that. And the month before our newsletters for our team goes out, we schedule what day we actually will work on them and put it on their calendar. And then rain, shine, COVID, whatever, we're doing it. It's getting done.
Something else that we did recently that I really loved and has helped is we get a lot of ideas for like client events or things that we could go to as a team, places we can sponsor. But sometimes we don't get those ideas until it's too late. So what we've decided is we have a monthly list of things that we're going to do this year. So we started that in October-ish or November-ish of last year.
Yep.
And we're going to continue to do it this full year, so that next year we're going to have a whole list of who we need to sign up with in what month, what events we're going to be doing in that month. So that way we can look 3 months ahead and see what we need to be doing today.
Yeah, because if you're going to have, vendors help out with your events and stuff, you need to start planning and scheduling. If you have to reserve, spaces to be able to do that or buy things, you need to start planning ahead of time. And that's really, really hard. But that's where, this simplifying your life and your business and, creating these systems will really help you. Also, I want to, remind everybody, if you're listening to or watching this live podcast later on, just comment #replay in the comments so that we can come back and check and see if there's any questions and stuff that we can answer.
What else you got?
Well, I want to tell everybody, because this is our first live podcast stream. So our new process will be weekly on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to live stream here and on the YouTube channel. And then the audio will be uploaded to podcasts everywhere. So if you're used to just listening on, Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Anchor or whatnot, you will still be able to do so on Thursdays. But if you want to catch the video and see, where our hair is sticking up, that day. You can catch us right here in the Facebook group and see.
I thought of something.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I think gets in our way of keeping things simple is that as real estate agents, we don't know how to enjoy our downtime. When we have downtime, we feel like we're not being productive, and that's not the case. When we have downtime, we need to be working on, I always get this confused, on our business.
So you're saying like this is when your business is slow, not downtime of like the day of where you're watching TikTok and.
Correct. If you close 6 houses 1 month and then the next 2 months you find you don't have any closings, you're not failing. This is the time that you need to use to think of all of these ideas and start implementing these ideas that you've had on the back burner. Take out your lists and figure out what you can work in. And before you know it, the clients are going to be coming right back to you.
Yeah, this is the time to be looking at those lists. And, you know, if you are not a pen to paper kind of person, you know, I mean, you can tell Suri, hey, Suri, take a note of this and write it all down, you know, and that will help you. I mean, whatever it is, whatever the system is that you want to do, just do it. And then when you have that downtime, you know, even if you have the idea today, like, hey, I want to have, you know, 4 client events this year, you know, and you don't have time right now to schedule that all, that's fine. Just take a note of it. And then, you know, next week or next month, when you aren't working with any clients or it's a little bit slower, that's when you pull that out, like Athena was just saying, and go through all of that and be like, okay, well, I'm going to get this on the calendar right now. And I'm going to talk to these people and I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
You have to.
Like, you can even go through, like in those downtimes, go through and figure out when every festival is in your town that you can sponsor a table for.
Yes. And we're going to talk about that a little bit too on Friday when we do the newsletters and stuff too.
Yeah. Like
that'll be
fun. Make sure.
Yes.
You want the calendar anyways, because you want to share that information with your clients so that you're bringing them value and they want to follow your page because you know all there is to know about the town that you're selling their houses in.
And it's great for lead generation.
Yes. 100%, because you're going to buy all the cute little keychains and all the cute little freebies and you're going to pass them around and you're going to be all over your town before you know it.
Yes. So, I mean, and that just goes to prove that, you know, all of this stuff, you know, planning, simplifying and implementing is almost like a full circle situation. It's lead generation. It's nurturing your database. It literally brings everything right around.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff that's, you know, more modern technology, more modern marketing, you know, that the whole point of this is for you guys is to help you. This stuff is so much more relationship based than just your, you know, door knocking and cold calling. This is what will get you out there and stay top of mind for a long time. So simplifying your life and your business by implementing whatever those systems look like to you.
Right. And systems aren't these big programs that you have to pay for.
They don't have to be.
Like, it doesn't have to be. Your system can literally be a handwritten list. Your system can be
your phone. Everybody's got one of these. I don't care who you are. You all have one stuck to your face all the time.
But you can make your system what works for you. And there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. It's okay. Ask in the group, like, hey, who has a system for lead follow-up? Who has a system for creating a client appreciation event for Easter or Christmas or any holiday?
Yeah.
Who has a system for creating calendar events around the neighborhood? Or who has a system for a newsletter? You can always send Jess, I'm going to volunteer you, but you can always send Jess a message. You can send me a message. We both love doing this stuff. Like, it's literally in my blood to create a system. And I take it as a challenge. So just send me a Facebook message and say, hey, I need a system for this. And you'll have it within a minute. Probably more like 5.
A really big thing that I really, really love and I use in my personal and my business is Trello. If you don't have Trello, it's so easy. You don't have to have a lot of technology in your background, but it can really help you get organized and plan and schedule. Maybe we'll do a training on that one day. But that's a little bit further along than just writing the notes down and stuff. But I mean, I have seen people who just use, an Excel spreadsheet for their database.
Yeah.
I
I've
mean, you
worked
just
those
have to find
systems for other agents. I guess maybe people don't realize this, but I have a pretty strong admin background. I'm a licensed real estate agent, but my heart is in admin work. I have worked as a transaction coordinator. I worked as an executive assistant. I have taken every admin training that other big name brokerages that I'm not with now have offered. I took a lot of really good information from that. And it's just how my brain is wired. But at the same time, I like wallow away inside of the office. Like I'm like a little house plant and I need people to grow. So that's why I stay in sales. But my heart is still in the admin side. And I struggle with that daily because I am implementing all of these systems and I am coming up with all of these ideas. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't have a client this month.
Yeah.
I can't
And
be the only one.
you can't implement everything. I mean, that's something, you're gonna have to pick and choose the things that are important to you that you want to focus on, just like social media and stuff. You can't be everywhere all the time. You can't do it all. Just pick the couple, that you really are passionate about and do those.
Right. And I think that that's like, if anybody takes one thing away from today's conversation, it should be to find out what works for you. And this is going to take some research. If you're a new agent, it's probably going to take a little bit longer, and you could ask some of your other agents that you work closely with. But find out what works for you. Track what you're doing. If you're spending money on a Facebook lead, track it. If you are spending money on Zillow or Realtor.com, track it. Find out what works for you. Track your stories. How many stories are you putting in a week on Facebook, and how many messages are you getting back? Are you getting responses from, like I asked the other day on my stories, a question about recipes, and just to drop your favorite recipe when you don't feel like cooking. I had like 10 responses within a couple hours.
Yeah.
And each of those gave me an opportunity to direct message the person who sent it and open up a conversation and keep myself top of mind to them.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
so that's really, just finding out what works. So my point to that is, as we're simplifying our lives, my point to that is find out what works and stick with that. And then bring in all the little pieces one at a time, almost like an elimination diet. Because we're all like starting a diet this year too, right? I'm not.
I want to say too, like going off of, what you're saying is a lot of the stuff that we teach in our elite coaching program is about personality-based lead generation and personality-based marketing. So, like what Athena was saying, ask people, what they do and everything, and then find what works the best for you and your personality type. Okay. If you're an introvert, your systems and stuff are not going to have you out door knocking or networking with businesses and stuff.
Crystal, I do everything on my personal page.
So we're actually going to do a whole podcast episode about stories coming up.
We are, and I'm excited about that because I'm new to it. I just started this. Jess will tell you all, probably like for the past 2 years, people probably didn't even know that I was a real estate agent on Facebook.
She's a secret agent. That's what we call that.
Secret agent.
And not in a good way.
And I'm getting better at it. But I have found that when I share stuff on my personal page, I get way more of a response from people and way more engagement than when I share it from my group page. I have a Facebook page, like I have a group Facebook page.
A business.
You
mean a business page. A business page.
And Crystal, the other thing you said, you're horrible at it. I promise you're not. Like I'm posting stuff that probably sounds, I don't know. Like I said, I posted a recipe because I don't like to cook. I post a lot of videos of my dogs, and everybody loves my dogs. I post embarrassing pictures of Jess when we go to lunch. Because people just like to know that you're a human being more than anything.
They want to know you're real, and showing them that is different. And the difference too, I'm just going to jump in here really quick. But the difference between the business Facebook page and your personal page, okay? Your business page, you have to have one if you want to run Facebook ads and boosted posts and that sort of stuff. But your lead generation for building relationships in your local area should be from your profile, your personal page.
Yeah. And this is a topic for another day, but just, Crystal, if you're, just getting started with it, just go through and clean up your page. Go through it. You can actually look at it as if you're someone else. I don't know if you can do that on your phone, but I know on the computer, you can look at your page as if you're somebody else and look and see what people are seeing on it. Mm-hmm. And you're probably going to realize that you're probably sharing stuff that's pretty cool. People just want to know that you're a human being. I share stuff about my kids. I try not to share anything political.
Yeah.
Because it gets gray right now. It's just a hot topic right now and always. But I share my kids. I share my dogs.
Funny. People love funny stuff.
Funny stuff. I share when I do something really stupid.
Every day.
So, but yeah, that's like I said, my final thing, that if anyone gets anything else from, just find what works for you, use it, and then cherry pick what you want to add in and see how it works. Keep track of it. And remember too, that these ideas that we're getting at the beginning of the year and we're implementing, you might not see a response instantly.
Right.
And that's okay. It takes a while.
Yeah, it takes a while, but it's almost like your real estate business, like what you're doing right now, you're not going to see for 30 to 60 days, right?
Yeah. And I keep reminding myself that as I'm driving like all over North Carolina looking for 2 very specific properties right now for people. Right? Like I'm going to see that in a couple months when we finally find the right property.
So Crystal asks, yes, just random stuff. Yeah. So in your Facebook stories and your Instagram stories, you can do the same thing. So you don't have to, double market or whatnot, but really just fun, interactive stuff. You can mix it up with, business stuff too. Be like, hey, are you planning to buy a home, within the year? Yes or no. And those are good, like polls and questions and stuff, but just fun stuff too. Like Athena did, like, hey, what's your favorite recipe? Or, hey, this is my favorite recipe. If you want it, drop me a link. But the stories are really good because they only last for so long. So they make people look at them.
Yeah. So Crystal, I am, as I'm looking down right now, what I'm doing is I'm actually looking at my Facebook to show you. My last post last night was Panera family dinner, 12 out of 10 recommend, because I showed properties until 6:30 last night and I was not cooking. So I put that I got Panera. People just want to know that you're a real person. The next thing I shared was our newsletter, our team Cherry Point Real Estate newsletter. I shared that to my personal page.
And it doesn't have to just be your stories too. Like you can use these for posts because then they'll stay there.
Yeah, these are all of my posts that I'm reading.
Yeah. Okay.
Memories. People love to see when your kids were babies. If you have kids or dogs, that they were puppies, or what you were doing 10 years ago.
Yeah, any of the
chances are you are not in the same spot now. Share what you were doing and how real estate has changed your life without shoving real estate down people's throats. Did I say that in an okay way?
Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely want to like make it fun and stuff. They don't want to just see like, oh, just sold, just listed and all that stuff. While that stuff is really great for your sphere and clients and stuff because they see you are working and stuff, that's not all they want to see though. So you have to post more stuff to keep them excited and want to look at your stuff and interact, because if they don't interact with your posts, they're not going to see them.
Yes.
The algorithm of Facebook will say, bye, you don't like this person.
But also interact with other people, right? So just it's as simple as that. And the other thing that I love about stories is not when you're doing your own, but when you're scrolling through, it already gives you the emoji or the sticker to send to somebody. Just send them a heart. And they know that you saw it. They know that you appreciated it. And it's going to, like Jess was saying about the algorithm, it's going to bring you to the top of their page when they get ready to log into Facebook the next time.
Yeah, because they want, like, the more you interact with people and stuff, they see that you have a relationship with them. So they're like, oh, this person is important to them. They want to see them. So then they will start seeing your stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It's just like if you're like, you randomly think of someone, you're like, wait, I haven't seen anything from them forever. So you go to their page. Well, once you've gone to their page and you liked something or whatever, you're going to constantly see their posts now. All of a sudden, like you thought they disappeared or unfriended you, and now they're going to pop back up. It's weird. It's creepy, weird, but.
We were doing, right before Christmas, we were doing, Jess and I did this thing. We have in our office what's it called? The What Do You Meme for real estate agents.
Yes.
So we didn't actually play the game, but we would pull the cards and we would put down like really funny stuff and then tell people I would make it a poll and then people would vote on it.
Yes. Who won?
Yeah. But I will say Jess won every time because I wasn't allowed to vote on my own poll and she was.
I won by more than one
even
person.
though I was funnier.
I would win by more than just my vote. Oh, we should do that one day though. That would be really fun. I think
we should do it more. And I still have some, you know what? Yeah. I still have some saved in my phone that we never posted. Because again, implementation is a hard one to put into effect.
Yeah.
But we're all going to work on it together.
Yeah. And you know what, that's what I love about this group so much. I love when, people ask questions and we can, share our ideas and, every state and country, does things differently. So it's really fun to be able to see everybody else's opinions and stuff and share all of that. Something huge that I wanted to announce to everyone. If you saw the newsletter that went out from our team today about the podcast going live and to jump in it and stuff, this year we have partnered with our friends, Jen and Chris, and they're doing the Beyond TV Bootcamp. And this is not specifically aimed towards real estate agents, but how freaking awesome would it be to jump in and do their bootcamp? And it's like $17 they're doing it for. It's a 5-day boot camp to teach you how to get yourself on TV, to be that celebrity in your area. And then you'll have people coming to you and you won't have to go to them. So we're super excited to partner with them. They are amazing, awesome, and they know what the heck they're doing. So the links are in the newsletter today. I'll probably post them in the Facebook group at some point too, if you guys want to check that out. It'll be really fun, really fun. And also, if you do sign up, let us know because we're going to give you something special free from the team.
I can't wait to hear what other people are doing to implement their ideas. Like what I want to know what everyone in the group is doing because I want to learn from them so that I can be a better person.
One day at a time.
Can I just say that this implementation thing is not just real estate, it's my family life too.
No, and you can do the implementation from all the ideas that we've come up with today. And of course, we want to hear your ideas. So again, if you watch this later on, make sure that you comment #replay so that we can find you and see your ideas of what you're going to do for 2022 and how you're going to implement, stuff, those systems, whatever those systems are to simplify your life and your business.
Okay. You want to end it with like a bullet point? What we talked about? You want to recap it?
Yeah, do it.
Ready?
Go.
Okay. The word of the day is simplify.
Yep.
We have so many ideas and not enough implementation. So we're going to work together as a group to implement what we're thinking of.
Yes.
Some of the ways that we talked about today to implement those ideas is having a good accountability partner. We really didn't talk about that. I'm squeezing it in.
So yes, I do have that. And I want to add that into your bulleted list. We are going to work on creating accountability pods inside the group so that everybody can have, a couple of accountability partners for real estate, life, and business.
I love that. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
Yes. So different people, you know, from all over can partner up and have that individual support that they need of an accountability partner.
I can't wait to meet my people.
I hope you find a good one.
Me too. But for right now, you're stuck with me. Okay, so we're going to have an accountability partner or pod.
Yes.
We're going to unfollow anything or anyone who doesn't give us joy, and we're going to open it up. Yeah, we are going to open it up to bring in new relationships and new ideas that do give us joy and inspire us to grow bigger. We're going to enjoy and embrace the downtime that we have, and we're going to bring in all these new ideas that we have. We're going to let ourselves get creative. We're going to remember that even though we're in a downtime, we are still a really freaking awesome real estate agent, a freaking awesome mom, a friend, a wife, a partner, whatever it is that you are, you're awesome no matter if you're slow. And this is what we're going to embrace, and we're going to get creative. We are going to figure out what works. And we're going to stick with that core idea. I would suggest not having more than 3 core ideas in your business for lead generation or marketing that work, and stick with those. And then Perry chick, I did it again. Cherry pick.
Did you say hairy pick?
No, Perry chick. I keep taking cherry pick and switching it. So we're going to cherry pick these other ideas and put them into play. And then you're going to come here and share them with us of what is working or not working.
Yes.
Because we need to know that too, so we don't waste our time. Or maybe we can find a better way to help you get it done.
And also every Tuesday at 10 a.m., we will be live broadcasting our podcast episode Eastern time in the group.
And Jess has asked me to come back a second time.
If she's good, because we still have a whole week before that happens. So we'll see.
I'm going to set my alarm and wake up. I'm going to do all my planning.
If she's
good. Then we're going to have a safe place. 2 more things. Have a safe place. Go to your safe place and do your work. Like
safe, happy place.
That's right. And last but not least, don't underestimate the power of a handwritten list. I can't say it enough. Write it out. I tell my teenager this all the time because he's like, I don't know where to get started. I'm so behind on homework. I don't even know where to get started. Write it down.
Just start.
Yeah. And I have a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old. The 16-year-old struggles with homework. The 9-year-old struggles with life. So she doesn't know how to clean her room. Write it down. Make a list of what you need to do. If you can't get started, make a list.
If you need systems, we got you, boo. So just send us a message, post it in the Facebook group. We have systems galore. And I'm sure that 100,000 other people have systems as well. So we're here to help you for sure.
Also, I cleared out my friend list when I cleared out my group list. So I have all kinds of openings for new friends.
New friends, that's right. We love new friends, new happy friends, I should say. Okay, and with that, if you want to check out any of the free resources or anything, head on over to themodernrealestateagent.com. There's also a bunch of stuff in the Facebook group, and we are so excited to see you next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, right here.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye, friends.
Bye.